Do you know how COVID-19 has made a big impact on the economy? Well, in this video, we will be talking about COVID-19 and its economic impacts on various activities. Make sure to watch this video till the end.
Coronavirus, also known as COVID 19, is an infectious disease caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. It was first identified in December 2019 in Wuhan, China, and has resulted in an ongoing pandemic. All of the symptoms of COVID 19 are non-specific, which means that they're also seen in some other diseases as well.
The COVID-19 pandemic has had far-reaching consequences beyond the spread of the disease itself and efforts to quarantine it. The pandemic caused the world's largest global recession in history, with more than a third of global population at the time being placed on lockdown. Now, let's talk about the economic impacts of COVID-19 on various activities.
Number one, cinema. The COVID 19 pandemic has heavily impacted the film industry. Across the world, cinemas have been closed, festivals have been cancelled or postponed, and film releases have been moved to future dates. As cinemas closed, the global box office dropped by billions of dollars, whereas streaming became more popular and the stock of Netflix rose, but the stock of film exhibitors dropped dramatically. Almost all blockbusters which were set to be released after the March opening weekend were postponed or cancelled around the world. Film productions are also being halted, and massive losses in the industry have also been predicted.
Number 2, sports. Most major sporting events were canceled or postponed, including the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, which was rescheduled to 2021. Spectators have no games to watch and no game for players to play. Only a few countries and territories such as Hong Kong and Belarus have continued professional sporting matches as planned. Number 3, television. The COVID-19 pandemic has shut down or delayed the production of television programs in several countries. However, a joint report from Aptopia and Bray showed a 30.7% increase in streaming sessions worldwide on platforms such as Disney Plus, Netflix, and Hulu during the month of March.
Number four, cruise ships. The cruise ship industry has also been heavily affected by a downturn, with the share prices of the major cruise lines are down 70 to 80%. Cruise lines had to cancel sailings after the outbreak of the COVID 19 pandemic. Bookings and cancellations grew as extensive media coverage of ill passengers on quarantine ships hurt the industry's image, and the cruise line stock fell sharply on 27th March 2020 when the $2 trillion of Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act excluded companies that are not organized under the United States law. Number five, aviation. The pandemic has had a significant impact on the aviation industry due to the resulting travel restrictions as well as a slump in demand among travelers. Significant reductions in passenger numbers have resulted in planes flying empty between airports and the cancellation of flights. So, the United States passenger airlines got up to $50 billion as subsidies from the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act.
Number 6, science and technology. The pandemic has impacted the productivity of science, space, and technology projects, and to world's leading space agencies, including NASA, and the European Space Agency having to halt production of Space Launch System and James Webb Space Telescope, and they also had to put space science probes into hibernation or low power. Number 7, business closure. By April, department store retailers JCPenney, Macy's, and Kohl's had lost $12.3 billion combined in market caps. Neiman Marcus and JCPenney defaulted on bond payments in April, preparing internally for bankruptcy court and bankruptcy protection. J. Crew and Neiman Marcus filed for bankruptcy during the first week of May. They were reportedly the first two major retailers to do so during the pandemic. JCPenney filed for bankruptcy on May 15th. In May, Pier 1 announced that it would close as soon as possible. It had sought court protection in February and hoped that someone would buy the business, but the subsequent recession made this all seem unlikely to happen.
Number eight, Unemployment. The International Labour Organization stated on 7th April that it predicted a 6.7% loss of job hours globally in the second quarter of 2020, equivalent to 195 million full-time jobs. They also estimated that 30 million jobs were lost in just 6 weeks in the United States alone, compared to 25 million during the 2008 financial crisis. In January and February 2020, during the height of the epidemic in Wuhan, about 5 million people in China lost their jobs. Many of China's nearly 300 million rural migrant workers have been stranded at home in inland provinces or trapped in Hubei province. In March 2020, more than 10 million Americans lost their jobs and applied for government aid. The coronavirus outbreak could cost 47 million jobs in the United States, and the unemployment rate may hit 32%, according to the estimates by the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. The lockdown in India has left tons of millions of migrant workers unemployed.
So these were the 8 activities that were economically impacted by COVID-19. Today, the world is facing coronavirus crisis, a pandemic that had changed life for millions of people. In times like this, hope can be a powerful source of reassurance. Many who are locked at home, others who are working to help and prevent the virus, also need reassurance, and that hope that we shall all overcome this. We hope you liked this video. So make sure you hit the like button, comment, share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to Techno Shield.